Good morning, Sheriff.
How's everybody?
Who's back there? Good again.
Sheriff, you better get one of these souped up donuts.
Oh, I'll get one, I promise you.
Good morning. I'd like to call this meeting in order. Please rise for prayer and flag salute.
Father, we're gathered again here today. We covet your wisdom and your guidance in the decisions that we make today. They're important decisions. They affect a lot of people. We have a desire to serve the people of this county in the most efficient way possible. So we ask your help and your blessings on this. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
thank you all and welcome. Item 4, any citizen desiring to be heard.
None filed.
Hearing none. Item 5, consideration and possible action on minutes of July 14th, 19th, and 20th of 2023.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 6, consideration and possible action on final plat of Settlers Point in the southwest quarter of section 15 north to west. Is that you? Come on
Yes,
up,
sir.
How are you today?
Good. I know
I think better than we deserve.
Yes.
Can you tell me how many lots in that plat?
It's 63, I believe.
We're upside down here.
Yeah. 25 and 33, is that 63?
The language in here about,
It's 58.
Okay, 58. That's right. Yeah.
you're responsible for the roads.
Yeah, it's on there somewhere.
You just saying it,
The girls did.
Yeah.
Y'all got any questions?
So one of the things that I'm going to be talking at the time that we communicate, just as commissioners here,
Uh-huh.
is about a plan to develop minimum standards for roads and additions. And the reason for this is, in a lot of cases, developers just put crap in there for roads,
Yeah.
and within 3 to 5 years they're falling apart.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's up to an HOA to take care of it.
Yeah.
The board has a minimum standards that was developed, adopted when the limited time that the county had a planning commission. Now what our previous DA said, that you guys aren't approving that plat, you're approving the recording of that plat.
Okay.
I tried to change the do not build line one time, and he said, what in the world are you guys doing? Well, this guy accidentally built 1 foot over the do not build line, just an eve, just a corner of an eve. He said, you don't have that authority. They have to go to the judge to have that authority, because we're not a plan. Now, it may change with different opinions.
That makes it feel better. These roads will be good.
Okay. Well, it does.
Yeah,
But
there'll be concrete on this addition. Some other additions is gravel only or millings.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the problems that happens when they break down,
Oh, yeah.
property values go down. The people want us to fix them. They're PO'd if we tell them we can't go in there and fix them.
I think it says on there that it's my responsibility and the homeowners association for the roads.
Yes.
Yeah,
Do
so
you
they're not
remember that
responsible.
standard, 4 inches, 6 inches of base?
But yeah, it will be good.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's something we'll talk about going forward, and so.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make
If I had my way about it, it'd be a planning commission to inspect foundations on houses.
Well, and the problem with those planning commissions is they always start off with good intentions.
And then it becomes
then it becomes a detour road. Yeah,
I understand.
30 years from now.
We had
it's
one,
flower you can
we had one, and almost 40 years ago, we voted it out of existence here. I remember it because, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Makes sense.
Well, let's sign that thing.
Okay.
Let me look
You make a
at
motion?
that. I just got it.
Yeah, I'll second.
Got a motion and second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
I need to get with you before long on West.
Yeah.
Where did you sign it here?
I'm glad you fixed that one area on sewer.
We're still
Got it
working.
going into the field.
Mhm.
It sure helped.
A
Yeah.
lot of work needs, a lot of drainage.
Yeah.
And they come down there, yeah,
Where it beats like that.
each one of them should have.
There's a
There
second
should be
page.
2 copies.
Oh, is there more to sign?
You wanna come here, Monty?
3 of them.
Say it again.
You wanna come here?
I don't care.
And they bring it to you.
Well, that's always got signs, so.
You had 3.
Yes. I believe I leave you 1, right? Or is it 2?
So you're gonna take all of them, go across and get
Oh,
them
Get
recorded.
them recorded, and then I'll keep one or 2 there.
You'll have to go get the
Okay,
little
this
copy
one
made.
makes, okay.
You're coming along.
Yeah.
Broadway and Forest Hills.
Slow.
I see houses back there.
Yeah. That one's working.
Well, I appreciate it.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You got them all sold? Sorry, might buy a couple.
Speculation. That's hard.
So, where is the exact location of this?
This one's Pine and Industrial. It's the closest.
Okay.
Right here close.
So, I want to talk with you about something regarding this.
Yeah.
And, this is in the Guthrie School District.
Yes.
Okay. I want to talk to you about something to
You got
improve the
some-
roads around.
You got some?
I do.
405.
Okay, hang on a second.
Now you know you're on camera. You're on camera.
Everybody's got my number, but here, I'll write it down. I better not. I already had 3 eggs.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Item 7, consideration and possible action on final plat of Cedar Valley Farm Phase 1 in the northeast quarter of section 1916 north 3 west.
Okay,
Come on
across, get
down.
it recorded.
On down.
How are
Thank
you
you.
today?
Appreciate it. Well, how are you all?
Good.
Your district or Mark's?
Marks.
I think it's gonna be in Marks. I think it's right on the borderline.
It's,
Is this Broadway here?
no, May and Industrial.
Maybe in this
Yeah, sorry, it is. Yeah.
one. I'm not opposed. I'll move to approve.
My second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
I am glad y'all decided to pave all the whole section around that area.
Yeah.
You didn't know you did, did you?
Yeah, I didn't think you all did.
I don't see where it is.
Pardon me, it's for
Oh,
you
right.
all right here.
Oh, okay. All right. You got them all sold?
No,
No? Working on
I'm
it?
working on it.
Are they, is it slowing down from the economy?
It sure hasn't seemed to yet, so. We're just
There's another one there.
Well, there's a 3 here too, or is it
Just 2.
Yeah, there's an interesting on Oklahoma, that Oklahoma is probably one of the best states in the union. Prices are still going up here a little bit, and it's still a big time seller's market. And so, really good evaluation. I'm one of the few people who still read the Oklahoma.
Just kind of pick and choose when I read it.
Mark, will you get this one?
I'll go get a small copy first.
Nope, you've gotta go record it first. So all the recording information is on that small copy.
That makes sense.
Good luck with it, Joe.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that area is really growing.
Yeah, pretty excited about it.
What's your company there?
It's called Retreat Homes.
Okay.
Organized developers.
Okay.
See Jesus in line.
Yep.
So use the hammer. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck, guys.
Appreciate it.
Item 8, open seal bid 2024-08 repair or replacement of sidelight windows and painting of interior and exterior wood trim of Logan County Courthouse, and consideration of possible action on wooden seal.
We received one bid.
I can't operate. One bid, guys. Pretty quiet.
Is this the company out of Stillwater?
Yes.
Okay. How much was it? 44,000.
How much?
Was it 44,000? $44,800. Proposal 1. Proposal 2, 44,800. And then on
There should be an addenda.
second page was
There's a
Mark
base
Scott.
bid of $44,880, an addendum for the lintels, $3,900, additional cost for lead paint, $16,120, addendum, the lintels, lead paint is another $5,200.
Okay, so I need to have it all together.
And then there's an option too to caulk and paint the lintels.
Well, that was supposed to be the addenda, when I was drawing that bid up, wasn't realizing even what the lintel is until he came out. And then once we looked at it, realized, well, that makes sense if we have the lift and the people
Sure.
here to get
Do
those
it-
windows
do it
caulked
once.
and done at the same time, so, an addendum was issued.
What was your estimated cost on all of it?
I was gonna be really happy, now, this is before the lintels
Mhm.
and that, in my mind, I had put 40,000. So I think that, I wasn't that far off.
No.
It's lower, after meeting and doing the walkthrough and adding the lintels, the budget mentally went, in my mind, way up towards the 100K mark, so I'm absolutely thrilled at what this looks like it's gonna come in at,
I think we'll table it till Monday and give us a chance to go over it, make sure everything's on there that we want.
This is gonna completely redo the wooden part.
So just so it's out there, the front doors of the courthouse have wooden side lights and wooden decorative header trims that have decayed. And so this is to either try to cut out the decay and replace, or the other option was to build facsimile and do a full replacement of those side light areas, as well as scrape and paint wood only, so not the metal guttering or anything. On the north, east, and west side, the big picture framed windows have some wood trim in them that is totally, the paint is totally gone. It just needs scraped and painted. So that was included in this. The addenda was the lintels of the windows having been replaced. It's been almost 20 years, needing caulked at the tops and painted in. Was something I wasn't aware of when we were writing this up, but since we have the lift and the equipment, that's an addenda that was added in.
Mm-hmm.
So the two options for the board to consider, the way it was put out, was if we had to streamline it down to minimal, cut out what pieces we could and kind of patchwork that wood in and then scrape and paint everything, or if that wasn't possible because of the structure, build facsimiles so it completely matches to replace those.
And we have the money to do it. I'm good with
We
tabling.
set the money aside here a while back, but I'd like to table it till Monday and give us a chance to
Yeah.
really look at it.
Well, one of the questions I have is, and of course this is my first time for one of these, what's the process of sending out inquiries for sealed bids?
So the law requires that we advertise it in a local paper,
Uh-huh.
which we do. I get names, we have a list, a bidders list that people can be added on, that we mail actual packets to. It's posted on our website, and vendors can subscribe to the website to receive notifications for each
Yeah.
bid category. So it goes out in many different directions.
Do we have any idea how many we sent trade packets to on this?
Five.
Okay. So someone's either really busy or they didn't want to tackle this.
I think there's a couple of issues with projects for county government. I think that, one, the courthouse has always struggled to get contractors that have been willing to work on it. I think they're intimidated by it maybe at some level. I think for smaller companies, the projects are a little too big and the bond requirements kind of puts them out. And then I think for some of your big, large contractors, it's too small. And this project was tough because the requirements say they cannot do this work during business hours. We cannot impede the traffic at the front doors. So they're gonna have to work weekends and evenings, and I think that that was a big deterrent on this
Yeah,
bid.
yeah. Okay.
I circled the thing, maybe you can look at it later.
Okay, I'll table till the next meeting.
Thank you. Item 9, open sealed bid 2024-09 chip and seal in Eastwood Edition, and consideration of possible action on awarding sealed bid.
And Charlie, I'm gonna back up to the question you just, we received one bid from Zeiser LLC. On a road project such as this, the other statutory requirement is it is submitted to ODOT and put out on their website and advertising. That's a statutory requirement on those road projects. So on a road project, it goes even further out by statute.
Hey, you gonna do that for 1,500?
So what?
Woke him up.
Can I get in line first?
It woke him up.
Gonna have to turn my earbuds up.
That's in your district.
Yes. I got a REAP grant for this, and How come I'm not seeing this? Here we go. Dang, we ran it here that big. Option one's $123,139.49. Option two is $249,65.81.
You mind explaining what the two options are?
Well, single coat or double coat. So, I would like to table this as well until, let me look at the finances here. Okay.
Main purpose of chip and seal, I believe, is to prevent moisture penetration. That's correct there?
Yes.
Been learning stuff at all these conferences and meetings I
Yes,
go
sir.
to.
We had two vendors show up to the pre-bid. How many packets do we know now?
My office mailed 8. It was placed on our website. It was placed on the ODOT website.
Only two showed up to pre-bid, and we got one bid.
So, one after the pre-bid decided they weren't interested, I guess, or didn't have time.
I mean, now, this,
I don't know what it calculated that in there. There's a lot of short roads in that neighborhood.
I'm not trying to get him out of any work. Take him out of the pavement. Couple inches on
So, a little bit of a benefit if you do the two coats here, price-wise.
Sure, yeah.
I'd be finishing that summer road if it wasn't on him. You know, to see that stuff flying everywhere. You want to table it?
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
So we'll table it to Monday.
I'll second.
I appreciate you
You bet.
interested in bidding on it.
Absolutely.
You just need all of
We'll decide on it come Monday. See-
Say that again?
We'll decide on it Monday, see how much money we got.
That's no problem.
But thank you for doing it. So item 10 will be consideration of possible action on county road use agreement with, I don't know how to say it, Energy and Wagon Wheel Wind Project LLC for county, for use of county roads in District 3.
I don't think it works. Just taking it.
So,
Oh, I thought you.
Mac, you wanna come up and
No,
talk about
Commissioner.
this?
Absolutely.
I'm totally against it. No, I'm kidding.
I got some folders for materials for you all. You too. Pretty cool. So a little background on the project. It's going to be a wind project in 4 counties: Garfield, Logan, Noble, and Kingfisher. These are where the turbines are expected to go, and there's going to be roughly 176 turbines in the 4 counties. With about half of them right here in Logan County. So 80 to 85 turbines are going to be in District 3 of Logan County. Worked with all the commissioners in the area to get this road use agreement to a place where we're all comfortable with it. And I'm happy to walk through the road use agreement too. Got it back from your council a couple weeks ago. Gave it the A-OK, and he signed the agreement as well and sent it over. So I can leave this on the table, so open it up.
Just a question, what did you say the number of turbines would be?
It's going to be 176 in the project.
So how does that compare with, say, the largest and the smallest in the state that you're aware of?
So the largest in the state is 1,000 megawatts and 200 plus turbines. That is called Traverse Energy Center, also an energy project. And the smallest, I'm not sure what the smallest is, but it's going to be one
This
of
is a big one.
This is a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be the largest, one of the largest in the state.
Where will all this power go?
So we have a deal with AEP and SWEPCO, Southwest Energy.
Powerful.
And the energy is going to go to Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana. So it connects in Logan County, right by I-35, and then it'll be going to the power grid.
And we may have talked about this at that other meeting when I met you, but do you also put transmission lines in?
Yeah, we're going to have 20 miles of transmission line that goes within the project. So there's going to be 2 substations that are also located in Logan County, and the substations will connect. One's going to be on the west side of the project, and one's going to be on the east side of the project. So it runs pretty much from 74 to 77.
Okay.
So do y'all pay property taxes on these, or how's that work?
Absolutely, but we are centrally assessed. So we'll be assessed locally during construction, and we'll pay CWIP, the construction work in progress taxes. And then once the project is operational, because AEP and SWEPCO's centrally assessed utility, then that's how the taxes get paid.
Do you know average about what one turbine would pay on the taxes?
That's a good question. I don't know that. I'm guessing it's a lot of money, but I'm not exactly sure what that amount is.
What do you think a lot of money is?
Another good question.
Everyone's got an opinion.
Not as much as we'd like, but.
Well, anyway, guys, Kingfisher County, Noble County, and Garfield County all has done this. I think Jeremiah changed just a little bit in this, and he was good with the agreement. So.
Would that have to go back to those other counties since, okay.
We're all 4 trying to be on the same page, so we
Yeah.
go from county to county,
Yeah.
know what we expect. And
The changes Jeremiah made were actually really minor. They were not substantial to the agreement. There was a couple little keywords that he asked to be removed, and he added the one clause that should have been in there, and I can't believe Noble and Kingfisher didn't insist, is that because we're government, we can only be held to the laws of the state of Oklahoma, and any judicial challenge would fall in Oklahoma, Logan County.
Mhm.
So that was really what Jeremiah changed. The fees being paid for the roads or the maintenance costs and all, Monty had approved those amounts.
And what is the deal on the roads?
So we're going to leave the roads as good in condition or better than we found them. And also a road maintenance fee that's going to be $10,000 to $30,000 depending on the type of road. Stabilized roads will be paid $10,000 per mile. Unstabilized roads, $30,000 per mile.
Is that a one-time fee?
That's a 2-time fee. One's paid, or half of it's paid at the beginning of construction, and half of it's paid after construction.
Okay.
So
It's
there's
not an annual fee.
not an annual fee.
So we don't do as well as the farmer that gets the annual fee for the wind turbines then.
The farmer's doing pretty well.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he is.
it's kind of a double-sided sword. I mean, some people love these, some people hate them.
Oh, I know. I know both. So. Okay.
Hey, I'm firmly on one side of that.
I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move if you want me to. You want it? You're a district.
I don't want to stand in the way of progress.
So move.
If that's
Well,
progress.
then I'll second it then.
I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, the motion carries.
Did
All
you
right,
want to
next.
Appreciate it, Commissioner.
Oh,
There's
okay.
2 copies. Did you sign 2?
I didn't. I done signed it.
I didn't know if you wanted to sign it before or after we.
Mrs. Cole, I know we talked about the split sheet before for section 5. Okay, appreciate it.
Charlie, a copy of the resolutions in that folder. You can take.
Thank you.
That's it.
Can we keep that now?
Absolutely. Here you go. Yeah, we just got
This right here.
approval from the FAA
Resolution.
last Friday,
Okay.
so
So when
You
you
guys will pass those this way.
For all
I'm
of us,
gonna-
it's not just
January for
Oh, okay.
start working
Okay.
on
All right.
roads
I'm gonna sign some
and get them
his copy.
ready, and then April for foundations, and then we'll start putting in the turbines next August.
So I guess you'll try to use all local vendors on all this foundation.
Yeah, as much as we can.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good. Alrighty.
I don't normally do that during the meeting, but this way you can take that with you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one. Thanks a lot.
Thank you
I'll
very
get
much.
that article emailed too.
Appreciate it, Commissioner.
Alright, you guys ready? Item 11, consideration of possible action on engineering contract with CEC Corporation in the amount of $89,089 for design, plans, and specifications for a bridge on South Meridian Avenue over Bloody Brush Creek, 0.27 miles north of Waterloo Road.
It's a little box. Well, it's a lower crossing currently. And if you remember, Monty, you used to couldn't take a lower crossing upgrade. Had to stay that way. Now you can get VR funds to change it. Well, we're talking about making a box structure instead of a bridge. I just wanted to get something going.
That doesn't have to be inspected then, right? The box trucks are running the bridge.
Depends on how wide it
And I think this will help him get a JP number so that we can start getting it in the system.
Try to get over that.
Is this your project?
Yes. You come
Mr.
through and
Moore.
take that.
Yes. Yeah.
It's dawned on me, the donation.
It came in
Oh, sorry.
Friday. Sarah's got it.
Okay, never mind, thank you.
And I was gonna pay for it out of the CBR iPad that I got allocated.
I'll move we approve.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Lonnie, would you be opposed? I know it's not on this. If I start moving forward with that bridge at Prairie Grove, Mr. Backus called me last week and wanted to know if I told him it's a slow process to put a bridge back. It's kind of where we tie it together.
Yeah. I don't really have an issue with
Put it on the plan.
it. I mean, of course I want.
We
my
just have to
stuff-
start.
I want my stuff first. That would
Did
be my high
Brandon
priority.
ever say, did the other 2 that are currently on the plan, did they get moved up?
I heard that orally, and you may know more about the SERB plan than I do, but
Well, each of you had a bridge that was supposed to be pushed ahead.
he indicated, Brandon indicated that we were moving those things up a year. But they're still way, well, I can't speak for Monty, but the only thing the one in District 1 had was just a scope of work. So it's still at the base area.
Item 12, consideration of possible action on procurement purchase order from CBRI account District 1 allocation to CEC Corporation in the amount of $89,089. I'll move we approve.
I'll second. I think it's tied to 11, right?
10, yeah.
I mean,
10, 11 and 12.
Yeah.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
This money used to be managed by ODOT, and when they reconfigured a few years ago, gave this down.
Couldn't we half and half it? Half of it going in M&O and half of it?
Well, you could, but you'd have less money to do projects.
Just kidding.
The intent of it when they sent it down was projects.
Yeah.
The intent was not, some counties did it that way.
Yeah.
And then they come up short on match money. Have
Right.
you seen that?
Item 13, consideration of possible action on programming resolution for bridge and roadway approaches on Grady Avenue beginning approximately 0.15 mile north of Waterloo, extending north approximately 0.2 miles.
And this is the same project. So moved.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
Seems like a lot of redundancy, but I guess there's a reason for that.
It's government bureaucracy.
They're all different things, just tied to the same project.
Item 14, consideration of possible action on lease purchase agreement with Logan County Public Works for a John Deere 6110 tractor with a diamond mower for $187,000 for District 2.
Well, I know he wants it, so I'll make a motion.
No, I was told 187.
We wrote check.
It's 178.
Okay. All
I
right.
thought we had corrected that.
Okay.
So correction on the agenda, it's $178,187.
Okay.
Already seen an hoax. Every year at Logan County, our projects are either too big for our ER funds or bridge replacement funds, and they end up going back and getting shared among all of them in the CED district. And hopefully this thing will fit right in somewhere, but
Okay.
that's the long-term goal.
So do you sign this? Me to be able to buy this? Do we need to change that?
It's right on there.
It's right on
The
that.
agenda right on.
I had the wrong number for the agenda.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I'd entertain a motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries. 15, consideration of possible action on
This is my hand schedule on the back then.
22-23 schedule of expenditures for federal award CFA report.
All right.
Stephen, is this accurate and true?
To the best of my knowledge.
That'll hold the court well.
Yeah. I cleaned it there.
So Charlie, we're
Sure.
required every year
Okay.
to complete this CFA, which is the schedule of federal funds. So we have to track the federal money that came in and went out and keep a report. And it will be submitted to the auditors, and it's that report that will determine the type of audit we have to have. If we expend more than $750,000 in a year of federal funds, we've got to have a federal audit. And so this report is done annually that tells them.
So do we ever spend more than that in a year? or-
We have. Now, I will say that because of COVID with the different funds that came in, I believe last year, middle of the year last year, the feds exempted those expenditures from that 750. So it's not often we hit 750. We have in years that we may have had a natural disaster and like floods or
Right.
something that we got a lot of FEMA money for
Yeah.
that would push us over. But not often do we hit that.
Just out of the thought, we had the Simpson fire here, and it was governor never requested FEMA funds for that. Is that unusual?
No.
Okay.
I think,
So it's
and
more likely
Stephen
for
can
floods?
back me up, I think we have to have experienced a minimum financial loss for it to qualify to even be determined an emergency declared by the governor to qualify for federal.
Yeah.
What was that dollar amount?
It's like 250,000, I think.
243, I think.
It's somewhere right around in there. I don't know the exact number, but.
Randy handed that out at the last CED meeting that was in that legislation.
So,
And that's damage to county property.
that's what I'm figuring,
Yeah.
because there's certainly a lot more damage.
Right, no,
But
that's
that's
county
up, that's
property.
up to them for their own,
Yes,
insurance to
Yes.
handle.
yes.
Okay. All right. So,
I'll make a motion to approve the CP report.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed,
You know, this is
motion carries.
what the state auditor was saying, when you get federal funds, you gotta play by their rules the other day.
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
what she's talking about.
mhm.
Ready? 16, consideration of possible action on the hazard mitigation assessment grant applications for generator for the courthouse and emergency management.
So Stephen got word that we can apply for these grants, and the generators that we've been looking at buying will qualify. So hopefully we can get it. It's a 75-25 match. So the generator quote for the courthouse by switching over to diesel went to $158,000. So if we can qualify for this, we'd only have to be on the hook 25% for that. And then the one for the EM building was 100 even-ish.
Yeah.
So 25 of that if we qualify, if we can get them pulled on these.
And we're under natural gas right now to drive the generators, or is it
Well,
propane?
We don't have generators.
Nothing right now.
Nothing, okay, okay.
The jail has a generator.
Yeah.
but Other than that, we.
What does it operate on?
Diesel.
Diesel, okay.
These require just the signature of the chairman.
So I got an email this morning and they actually opened up the full application process, so,
Fantastic.
yes.
So, it'd be really good if we could
Sure.
receive this and take care of those two generator.
And this will be our first hazard mitigation project in a really long time, they said, so.
Why do they call this hazard mitigation?
So every 5 years, Logan County has to do a hazard mitigation plan, and there's a hazard mitigation planning team, and all you guys usually go to it too once every 5 years. There's 2 meetings you have to attend, and it's any natural disaster stuff, like high wind, lightning, tornadoes, stuff like that, that would affect county operations. And then each of the cities and towns in Logan County, if they want to participate, they have to attend the meetings to give their input on, flooding, high wind, hail, lightning, tornadoes, wildfires, stuff like that.
And hazard mitigation, this is where you foresee
Yeah.
there's a problem and you're
Right.
trying to do
Like
something
say
about
like
it in
during
the front.
high winds, tornadoes, or, lightning, if it takes off the power, that interrupts day-to-day business at the county offices. And so a generator falls underneath that, so.
Yeah.
Did you hear any more on the other grant that was maybe gonna be out there available for?
I have not got
Okay.
anything back on that one.
Okay.
I'll try to follow up on
You
that.
need a motion, Mike?
I do.
I'll move.
I'll second.
I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All
Aye.
opposed, the motion carries. 17, consideration of possible action on ingress egress agreement with Hula Hoop Holding LLC for tree disposal on property at the northwest quarter of 2715 North 2 West.
So this is a project that we're getting ready to pave a half mile of Seward Road, Simmons, from I-35 over to Pine. And we need to remove a lot of trees out of the right of way. And I got permission from this entity to take the trees. They're very close to the property. Save us a ton of money over hauling them up to the yard and burning them at the yard. And so that's what this is about. I do have a limit of 30 days that we have to have it done in. So,
I'll move we approve.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, the motion carries. Item 18, consideration of possible action on ingress egress agreement with Andrew Meadows for tree disposal on property at Southwest Quarter 2715 North 2 West.
So this is my nephew's place, and I talked to him first about this. When Scott went over and looked at it, he thought that probably the area that we were going to be able to take those to was not large enough for the very large quantity of trees that we've got to remove. And so that's when I went and got the other approval of the other person. I doubt we will use this, but anyway, it is available for us to use if we need to. So,
I'll move we approve.
yeah, I'll second.
I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, the motion carries. Item 19, consideration of possible action on a resolution accepting $2,000 donation from Piper Farm Goats to District 3 for rock on Pine North of State Highway 51. Mr. Piper does this 3 or 4 times a year, and we appreciate the help. So he likes to keep his road pretty nice.
Is that Representative Piper, or is that
It's be his uncle.
Uncle? Okay.
I'll move we approve.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, the motion carries. Anything on 20?
I have nothing on 2021.
Awesome. Item 22, consideration of possible action on permanent road crossing permits.
Just the 2 flags, I'm not gonna unpin them all. These are Cox, and then that one there.
Okay, help me out here a little bit. What are we doing here?
These are permanent road crossing permits that, I don't know what one you have. This is Cox Communication.
Yeah,
So
this is not Cox, this is Coates.
Codes, so they're crossing our road.
If you lift that check up, it'll tell you who's the owner in the line.
One gas.
Okay, so One Gas is crossing,
Oh, I see it down here. I
yeah.
didn't see it. It's part of D then. Okay.
Public utilities
Coates Field Service.
go for nothing, and the oil companies have now got to pay.
And
Public
then
utilities.
where do these funds go?
So, the permit's 500, 350 goes to the district of the bore, and 150 goes to general fund to cover the cost of working them up and mailing them and dealing with them.
Okay.
The law says the fee charge has to be for the administration
Mhm.
and inspection of the crossing.
And who inspects that?
Some of your guys will leave it at that.
Okay.
You do.
You got any good ones?
I haven't. Haven't had any of those to do yet, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the road crossing permits.
I'll second that one.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, the motion carries. Item 23, consideration of possible action on consent agenda items. Oh boy.
Move we accept those.
Missed one, Charlie.
Did I?
Yes, sir. can't.
We kinda waited till everybody left before we offered them. No, the sheriff isn't leaving though.
He said he's gonna get it.
How you getting along, Damon?
All right, good. One day at a time.
What the hell happened?
That's sort of shady.
What caused your problem, Sheriff?
Moving a rock out of the roadway.
Moving a rock out of the roadway? I heard it was something else. I thought it was.
No, it wasn't bull riding.
Oh, I thought it was.
He wasn't on long enough to get
I was
hurt.
gonna say, yeah, I challenged Chris just to get on one. Just
He
get
jumped
down-
right in.
Just get down the chute with it, that's all you gotta do.
All you gotta do.
That's all you gotta do. You can get out. I was trying to
Those
say-
weren't junior bulls either, were they?
No, sir. No, I was trying to save the county a tow bill on one of my deputies, it ended up costing a little more than that. So, changing the mode of operations, I'm not pulling no vehicles out of ditches no more.
Mr. Commissioner? I mean, Mr. Chairman, I think you missed one here.
Awesome.
You know, my daddy kind of smartened me up when I was young. He stuck me on a cow. And, you know, when you're young, probably when you're old too, you can't ride a cow either.
Yeah, you gotta work up to it.
Yeah.
It's just pay stuff.
Yeah.
You know, coming of age, in Stillwater, Tumbleweed used to have that bull riding. I had a few friends who got drunk enough to do it, but I never drank that amount of alcohol.
Yeah, I guess the bad part is I did it sober.
I always wanted to ride one of these mechanical bulls. But I
I've
never
done
have.
that, I've done that.
Never have done it. Probably even past my time doing that now.
That operator make your break you.
Yeah, he can. I watched him one time. He looked real good for a while, and all of a sudden he decided to crank it up a little bit.
They used to have one of those every now and again at the county fair. The good thing about it, it doesn't chase you after you throw it.
Transfer. As far as those unused, I'm moving into the art building. Transfer from last fiscal year. Blanket PO. Election board claim just you.
Charlie, you need to sign up here too. Enough paperwork for you?
Yes, sir. Okay. Guess this is for my guys, right?
Mm-hmm. This is your paper.
Yeah.
District 2 paper. No, you need to sign this one.
And this
Alcohol beverage.
just has all of it. Basically, the whole thing, okay,
That's correct.
for everyone in the county.
Plus the matching, so it's everything the county is doing.
Okay.
Chris, you wanna do the alcohol beverage deal?
What's this? July, June, 23-1.
And you're way off. 22.6.
$500.
I'll give it to you. That's
All right.
nice.
I went over though.
Yeah, that's true.
Got $1,000 buffer is what.
The price is wrong, buddy.
As long as everything got their $50.
Somebody asked me the other day if Meridian is still an incorporated town, and I was pretty sure it was. Is that
It
correct?
is.
Yeah. What would, if it ever decided not to be incorporated town, what's the process of that?
I have to research.
Okay.
That I don't know.
Are we responsible for the roads in Meridian?
No, they're
City
in town,
streets.
so the city streets are theirs.
I thought if it was a city under 5,000.
You can work on them, we're not
Okay,
obligated.
okay, all right. Good to know that.
So that means you can do last.
And Coyle.
Just throw that out.
Yep. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's my 3 towns.
They've been calling me, well, before you got in office, they was calling me.
Yeah.
Getting no one else to do it. So.
Yeah.
That's it for consent.
Did you already have a motion?
No, I did not.
Since we signed everything, I'll make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion on consent agenda items? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, the motion carries. 24, consideration of possible action on claims for payment for July 2023. This is all the claims. This is all that comes out of compliance.
And you can just initial those if you want.
So explain to me.
So all the POs and all that
Okay,
are right there.
okay,
So the ones that went over the PO or invoiced before PO, are right here.
okay. Out of compliance.
We have to recognize that these are out of compliance.
Okay,
And to start off with, is District 3, he was out of compliance.
okay. I probably won't be any of them for District 2
I
there.
was over $1.63 on that PO.
Well, I'm glad we have this paperwork.
So far.
So far.
And I won't call this guy out, but he's sitting pretty close to me.
Okay. That Jen, I don't know what she did
And
wrong.
this one's sitting pretty close to you. This one's in the back of the room.
Sorry. I wasn't throwing it.
Hey, we're in good company. That's all I have to say.
That's right. If you haven't went over yet, you will.
some information about it. I don't know that it's something that she's ready to kind of look at. read it.
And ESG's there, so they're investing into that social agenda, making.
And who cared about returns?
Wasn't about the returns, it was about changing the
You know,
governmental
we want
policies.
returns.
Her and the state treasurer apparently spearheaded the pensions and investments committee, which she's on by virtue of her office, into getting out of ESG investments and out of BlackRock.
They pull all the state money out of it. All
I
retirement.
see that.
Yep,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's good.
Cindy, having been, before she was the elected state auditor, just as her position with the auditor's office and working so closely with counties,
To make it easier.
it did, when she became auditor, she had a really good understanding of processes and she's.
Well, I personally, just personal opinion, I thought she did probably more good work than state auditor at the time. She worked under him,
She's thick.
Or you got the car?
he wasn't, in my opinion. And she's never,
Was she a Charlie cook?
huh?
Was she a Charlie cook?
Yeah.
Monty wasn't.
I wasn't either. Mom, that's okay.
Alright, so you got kicked around too.
Yeah, I got beat up pretty good. That's okay.
Goes around, comes around.
Now, wait a minute.
No, I wouldn't either, so.
Well, Troy, I've never done a county clerk.
I think Mark.
Knock on wood, there was only one so far.
I might mention Mark's the only pick on those.
Oh, you weren't.
Yeah.
I put this together.
Yeah, that's okay.
How'd you overcome that?
That's, Benadryl.
Yeah, there's a funny story to that. Laura Thomas and Sheriff and I went over to do a podcast over in Lincoln County at the church over there. And as we were leaving the parking lot, I was getting ready to tell the sheriff that, I didn't pick him. I don't normally do sheriffs. And he just told Laura right off the bat that Charlie didn't pick me. And so I explained why. And when I did, he said, "Well, I don't blame you. I would have picked,
Is there a
relatives."
agency or?
But you realize you just opened yourself up to hearing from us
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'd really rather stay in the position of not needing to be on that.
Well, normally, I didn't do anything below a state representative. When I say below, that was,
Yeah.
it
No,
was
it makes
just
sense.
too much, and.
Well, and I'll tell you the other part,
Oh,
Charlie.
you see that.
There are two different types of positions. Yes, they're elected, but the work involved in what they're expected to do is so vastly different from.
It's mechanics work, not a policy position. Yeah, no, I understand that.
Maybe 2 years.
And I guess what I was wondering, it makes perfect sense why you didn't get into the county part of it, for that
Well,
reason.
first off,
I just wondered if.
pics are several pages
Like,
long.
there is, it's like-
And that risks being too much for people to read anyway, because they go out all over the state,
Yeah,
and,
unlike my bike thing and everything.
And there's 230-something commissioners.
yeah, and, judges and everything else, it's way too much.
No, here's the problem. My wife bought one.
I used to keep up with things pretty well.
Bought her.
You're asking a little too much now.
Yeah.
And I bet now you really don't have time to keep up.
My motorcycle came at this guy.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
2,900.
I trained some other people to do it last year, and be meeting with them. I think they're gonna form another pack and some things, so.
That's it, claims.
Entertain a motion.
I'll move that we approve claim.
I'll second.
I got a motion, second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the motion carries.
Troy, correct?
Yes.
I'll second Mark's motion.
On behalf of,
Okay, well then I won't abstain.
I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion on them, Charlie?
No.
Mark? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, motion carries. 26, comments, announcements, questions by the Board of County Commissioners or other county officers or department heads. Haga?
I had some, but we'll go ahead, we'll.
I have nothing.
Sheriff? you got
No,
anything?
sir.
Excise Board? Chris?
No, negative.
Troy?
no,
Mark?
No?
Charlie? You're up.
I have a whole bunch of stuff here.
Let's have it.
Okay.
Board on.
So, at the, let me say, the commission meeting the week before the conference, I found out that the State Arts Council has a $25,000 grant for the fair board of every county in the state that wants that. The recommended use is to hire a band to come and perform at the county fair in hopes of increasing the attendance to it.
I can do it for 25,000. I can sing right on.
Well, it's kind of up to the fair board to determine who they get to do that.
24.
But I'm hoping to meet with Dennis and let him give me a tour of the fairgrounds, and I'll mention that to him. So that was one thing. The other thing is, at the county commission conference that we were at last Wednesday and Thursday, there were several things that came up. Number one, State Representative Cantrell from the southern part of the state was a county commissioner. It might have been Bryan County, I'm not sure which county it was. But he was a county commissioner, just got elected to the state house. And in his freshman season, he introduced 8 bills and got 6 of them passed, which is almost unheard of for a freshman to get that many bills passed. All of them had to do with county government. And so I wanted to mention specifically 3 of those bills. One is increase the penalty for an attack on a county commissioner. We do get attacked by constituents from time to time. I don't know if you guys ever have been. I haven't been.
Not one that wanted to press charges.
Yeah, yeah. And but they did increase because there have been attacks on them. The other one is the ability to remove property on a right-of-way. And it wasn't always clear that we had that ability to do that. I've actually got a road in my district where an individual has stored all kinds of cars and junk right up to the edge of the road. Almost can't really grade the road. And so he's beyond the fence or beyond the right-of-way. And I'm not sure when this bill goes into effect, but when it does, then I'm going to ask him to move his stuff off of there. And if not, I need to find out, I need to read the law to see if we can haul it off or sell. If it's cars and things, I don't think we could sell them, but we could have them impounded perhaps, and it's up to his expense to get them out. And but the one I'm most excited about of anything is they passed a law that won't go into effect till November 1st, and it will be, there's 41 other states that have already passed this law, where it allows both cities and counties to pool their funds and have those funds managed by a professional investment entity. What I am excited about, Mark heard the presentation at the ACO board meeting. It was a very short presentation. I had spent 3.5 hours with these people the night before, so I got a lot bigger picture of it and everything. But basically, right now, this is I'd say investments earning between 4 and 6% interest. They're very secure. government-backed securities, and absolutely top-of-the-line commercial paper. Commercial paper in a company like Caterpillar, which is on the Dow 30. It's a worldwide business. So here's the advantage of it. I'm going to take just the trust fund, okay? So right now we keep about $1.5 million in our checking account on the trust fund. The rest of it's tied up in CDs. Am I correct on this?
Yeah, I don't actually have that stuff, so they'll have to guide you.
I'm talking just rough figures here. About the 1.5, certainly after we just took 178,000 out for myself here. Under this plan here, you could put virtually all the money in that, and you could put your money in one day and get it out the next. Unlike a CD, where your money's tied up for a certain period of time, or unlike, or say we've got 150,000 in a checking account here that's drawing virtually no interest. All this money could be working for us at right now, on average, between 4 and 6% return. So the amount of money that could come back to the county, or excuse me, the amount of earnings on all of our funds, ARPA and everything else, could be much, much greater. In fact, all of our county funds could be put in this. If we want to keep small amount out, we can do that. But the nice thing is it goes in and you can pull any or however much you want out the very next day.
No penalty.
No penalty. And so like that 1.5 million is earning nothing now. Well, that could be earning a lot of money. I'd like to have this entity come here and do a presentation to us. And I kind of stumbled across this when I was just walking the booths, talking to the vendors, and bumped into an old friend of mine. Well, he's not old, he's young, I'm old, but his name is Jason Carini, and he is currently the treasurer of Rogers County. Now, Rogers County is about twice the size of Logan County population-wise. Not quite, but they're 90-some thousand. We're a little over 50,000 here. And anyway, Jason admitted he was a nerd, and so he studied these things for 2 years, and before he was ever even elected as the county treasurer up there. And he's just done, not through the pool, but just his own investing and things like that. The first year he was in office, I think he said the county earned $85,000 in interest. Last year it was $800 and some thousand. So the potential to earn a lot would be more, and there's virtually no additional work for the clerk and no additional work for the treasurer. So I would like to do a presentation when we know that our county treasurer and our clerk can be here, have the group come in, and I'll call in a favor, or try to call in a favor of the treasurer, Carini, and see if I can get him down too. He speaks very highly of our treasurer here, and get him to come down too. I think it's exciting, the potential of the additional revenues that we could earn on the monies that we have.
When did that go into effect?
The law goes into effect the 1st of November, and at the next the fall meeting,
Fall conference.
they will do a major. They just did a very brief, a 20-minute presentation here. They'll do a major presentation at the next conference there. But I'd like to get ahead of it and have them come and do a presentation here so we fully understand that potential there.
I'm ready.
Okay. So Mark heard it, and then another thing, I've let it be known to as many as I can that one of my goals as a commissioner is to try to get the county commissioners removed from the Open Meetings Act. And so I brought this up at that at that late night meeting Wednesday night. And this Representative Cantrell was there. Now, again, almost all of his focus is on county issues. And so when I brought this up, and there were about 10 commissioners in that room, I would guess, all of a sudden his eyes rolled, and there were 2 or 3 people saying, "Oh, we'll never get that done." And so I said, "Now wait just a minute." I said, "I'd like to just see a show of hands of the commissioners. How many would like to see us removed from the restrictions of the Open Meetings Act?" And all the hands went up. And so I said, we have 2 issues then. It's something we'd like to get done, and yes, it'll be difficult to do it, and that's a separate issue. That my ears. Oh, we know it works. Well, I'm trying a new way to turn the ringer off, and it worked. So anyway.
Lift the table up, but the ringer's
Yeah. But anyway, it led to a lot of discussion, and I asked who is the #1 opposition to doing this, and it's the Oklahoma Press Association. And I thought, well, who cares about them? Nobody reads their papers anymore anyway. I found that out. They're very powerful, and so. A lot of discussion, and I think probably the wisdom that came out of that is to find ways to modify it a little bit. And here's the reason that I want to do that. I've wanted to do this. Before I was elected, I could talk to you 2 guys all I want about anything I wanted to. Once I'm elected, there's a lot of things I can't talk to either one of you about. Most boards and commissions have 5, 7, or 9 members. A 5-member board, any two members can talk. A 7, any 3. A 9, any 4 people can talk. And you can move that around to different ones. You can discuss things, you can get ideas done, and such as that. However, and I also talked to Bill Cates, our lobbyist, the next day. However, we're a 3-member board. And anytime 2 of us to get together, we create a quorum. And if we've done that without the proper notification and things, we're in potentially violation of Open Meetings Act, and that's a felony, and that is not a good deal. And so let's just take the last election cycle when the commissioners were sworn in, all the ones that were sworn in January, which you had District 1 and 3 all over the state up for election. Of all those sworn in, 1/3 of them had never served before. It was the largest group of completely new commissioners. And the learning curve is tremendous in this. And the fact that there's, and I've also had it defined 8 or 10 different ways what I can and what I can't talk about. And it's ridiculous, in my opinion. It hurts the ability to communicate with one another and serve the people better. Particularly if you're an honest commissioner and you're wanting to serve the people. That's point 1. Point 2, had you have gone to this conference, and Mark and I went, all 3 of us could have loaded up in 1 car and driven down there and back, and the county would have only had to pay just 1 entity for driving a car down there and back, or a vehicle down there and back, because once we leave the county here, we can be paid extra money for taking our vehicle outside. If all we talk about is fishing and camping and vacations, that's no problem. But the optics are so bad with 3 commissioners or 2 commissioners in a vehicle, you don't do it. So Mark drives his vehicle down there, I drive my vehicle down here, and we have to double pay for that mileage. And so it's a waste of time and money, or a waste of money there. And anyway, it's been a goal, and the wisdom is we'd probably be better off trying to adjust it and give us a lot more flexibility to communicate with one another as opposed to just out and out do away with it. So I just wanted to give that little report on that. Then the other thing which I talked about here just briefly is I had a fella come in my office, and he's a home builder, and he highly recommended we develop certain standards for private developments. And I mentioned it just a little bit earlier in here, the problems with that. Also, I talked to a commissioner from the same county that this Representative Cantrell is from, and they certainly have minimum standards for developments in their county. I guess there's a lot of developments because of being close to Lake Texoma, and it certainly makes sense to me to make sure that these developments that go in, the developer puts quality roads in there. Just out here east of town, south of 105 and north of College, is a very large development, probably 300 plus homes in that development, and about 2 streets that are paved, and the rest of it is gravel. And that developer did that, leaving it up to the HOA to pave those roads, which will take virtually forever to do. And it is a problematic thing. I would have never bought a home in there if that's a gravel road in front of my house that the developer didn't put that in. But it would certainly, I think, protect a lot of people that buy property in developments if we had minimum standards for the roads in those developments.
I'm not sure that we can enforce a standard on private property.
Well, I think it's a covenant thing is what it basically is. And what the gentleman told me is you create the standards, and you'll have an engineer sign off on that before that developer puts those roads in.
We have a county standard.
I didn't know we did.
Yeah, we do. I don't remember what it is.
Do you know what it is, Mark?
Can't remember if it's 4-inch base or 6-inch base, which be inch and a half. Curbs and gutter.
Yeah.
And that's for a road to ever be accepted by the county, and you have to be very careful on that, because I think what Bryan County has done is they've said if you build it to this standard, then it's our road. And I think one commissioner down there is in a lot of trouble because now all of a sudden he has these roads that.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't want to do it that way. I asked this gentleman that came into my office who would create the standards, and he said, "Let me get you the name. They just did this in Payne County." And he said, "Let me get you the name of who it was that created the standards."
Brawley Engineering is the one that did this board many years, even way before I was ever on it.
Without planning and zoning, though, I'm not sure how you'd ever enforce that.
I go back to what the previous district attorney said, is you guys are not dictating what they put on that plat. You don't have the power. You're just recording that plat in the county clerk's office.
Now the plat is one thing.
Well, that's where it dictates what's going to be in that edition.
Okay.
That's the plat. And of course, the covenants, that's between them, so there's no, that's a civil matter between them. The county has nothing to do with their covenants.
Okay.
Now, we can get an opinion from Jeremiah.
Yeah,
on
that's
that.
Jeremiah.
Yeah, I will.
His opinion might be a lot different than Lowell's.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
I got another thing to talk to him about him. So that's all I had.
That's it?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? So the only thing I got is if we move forward on redoing the annex and taking down the 6-story, we're going to need a place to rent for the county assessor. I met with Doug Powell they got a building available, I think would work, and he sent me a text, and you do have another option for us, maybe?
Well, he said he'd rent the other office building by the post office too, but I don't know if it's big enough for you all, what you want to do.
I went and looked at the building, I think it's plenty big, and he said also he would include the parking lot, which just west or east of the building, that, you know, we could utilize that as well, so. We got a place to go if we decide to move forward with that project.
Okay. That's important.
So, anything else you got for us, Doug?
That's it.
Decide to cut the rent in half?
That's big enough for this board to meet as well.
I don't know. Well, I think our board would probably have to meet in the training room over there, which would be plenty acceptable. So. But I think this building would be big enough for the county assessor.
Now, Doug, did you just bring some tree names to my barnyard?
No.
Well, you look so much like the guy that just did that. Okay. So I know who you are now.
Uh-huh.
It's been a long, long time.
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah, all right.
Alrighty.
You were sheriff at one time, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave that opportunity to Damon.
Okay. a few in between, though, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else, anybody? Bobby McGee?
Thank you for the sentiment.
Do
Absolutely.
you guys, since you pointed at me, do you guys have a minimum depth on your road crossings?
Yes. I think it's 48 inches below ditch line, or the lowest point of the road,
You ever
which
thought
would be the
about
middle.
increasing that?
So 48 inches below the middle of the road. Say it again.
You ever thought about increasing that?
Yeah, it ought to be about 27.
Say what?
Increasing the depth.
Increase.
Yeah, we should.
It should be 6 at least. 6 to 8.
72.
And I say that because of my experiences with when you guys repair your roads or something like that, and the gas line's in the way, it's a pain in the ass. Because they're going in at the minimum, and if you go cutting your bar ditches and stuff like that, you're screwed.
10-4.
Fire ditches.
Quit.
Item 27, consideration of possible action on adjournment. I'll move with adjournment.
Yeah, so I'll second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Marathon.